Hi, Mark Toll here. This video is going to focus on flexibility and mobility. I'm going to go through a lot of functional movements to help improve the mobility of different joints and flexibility exercises to help stretch out some of those muscles. I use this as part of a warm-up, typically after I've already done the foam roll and before I do any strength training or cardio training. So the first one you're going to see here, I'm going to work on hip mobility. I'm going to get a spread stance, arms out in front. You're just going to lean to one side, squat down as far as you can go, and then the other side. Squat down, we're working the mobility of the hips, and actually getting a little bit of a groin stretch as well. Back and forth. Next one. The hip, it's actually a split squat. We also use that for strength training. But you can get down in this position. A half kneeling, one knee up. You want the foot pretty close to the middle of your body. Your back foot, you're actually up on your toes. From here, you're just going to come up and down. We're working the flexibility of this hip. It's a nice warm-up. Go ahead and switch and do the other side. Arms overhead, behind your head makes it a little more difficult. Let's start with this, with your arms down to your side first. Okay, the next one, again on the hips, I'm going to use a Swiss ball here. Actually sit on it. You roll out. You want to spread your feet. Roll forward. Bring your knees in. Forward, knees in. You can bring them out a little bit farther if you don't feel much of a stretch. You're really working the hips, internal rotation of the hips is what this actually is. You do several repetitions of this. This next exercise is a flexibility exercise for the front of the thigh. What you do is find a table. There's other ways to do this as well, but I like to find a surface that fits well for your leg. You might have to search around the house a little bit. And you take the foot up, place it on the table. So you're on one leg. Try to get your rear end back as far as you can to your foot. You kind of tuck your rear end up underneath. You should feel a stretch right through the quad, the rectus. If you need to, then you can actually bend the opposite leg that you're standing on. Get a little bit of a stretch, increases that stretch there. And then of course you'd switch and do the other side. Now I want to show you a hamstring stretch where you can use a table as well. What you do is place one leg straight or rotate it inward a little bit, the other leg up over the table. Again, this is turned in, and you want this leg rotated in as well. You should feel a little stretch there. Then what you do is you can see my pelvis is open here a little bit. You want to actually turn the pelvis towards the leg so that it squares up. You don't want to crank on rotating the lumbar spine, but just the pelvis. Turn, hold that for about 5 seconds and release. Turn. Hold it, and release. So again, this down leg rotated inward, this leg rotated inward as well. You're going to really feel that stretch. Okay, here's another exercise that works on the flexibility of the hip. Again, you can use a table. Place your leg up on the table. Down leg, straight, turned in just a little bit. Make sure that your knee and hip is inside your shoulder. So, this way a little bit. And if you're really tight and your knee's up in the air, you can just put some pillows or something underneath here to help relax it. What you want to do, you Your hip is open here, your pelvis is open. You want to twist your pelvis, move it so that it's square. Not your shoulders, not your back, just your pelvis. So right here through this butt muscle, hold it and release. Hold it, release. And if you want a little more of a stretch, you can lean forward, leaning with your chest. You don't want to do this. Stay tall, lean forward. Works on that hip. The rotator muscles deep in the hip. That's a great one for the hip. Here's a second hamstring stretch I want to show you, where you use a doorway. If you're not able to use a table, this is a good one to do as well. But you're going to find a doorway where you can lie down, put one leg all the way through, and the other leg up on the door frame. And what you're going to do is make sure you keep your leg up on the door frame straight, knee locked. And the other leg is actually going to come up and down. Make sure you keep that locked as well. So this is what it looks like. One leg up. If you're pretty tight, what you need to do is just back up a little bit. Okay? So make sure you find the right distance to the wall. The other leg that goes through the door, I want up and down. You can come up and down. Make sure it doesn't roll out. Make sure it stays knee locked. Down, come back up. So this is an active stretch, because each time the leg lowers, you're getting a stretch on this leg, right through there. What you would do is then just switch on the other side of the door and do the other leg. Okay, this next stretch is designed to work on the hip again. The front part of the hip flexor. It's a deep muscle that comes up the thigh and deep into the attaches deep in on the spine. It's hard to get to sometimes, and this is one I discovered recently that I really like. What you want to do is get like a step. This is a Reebok step, but you can get some stairs at home. Put down a pad or something like that. What you're going to do is actually start at an angle. So this leg is 45 degrees to the step. Take your other leg and place up on the step. Try not to let this slide in. You grab a hold of your knee. If you have something you can hold on here, that might help as well. But you want to go as tall as you can, and then raise the arm on that side. Stay tall. You can tuck your rear end up underneath a little bit. It'll increase the stretch. Come down, relax. Take it back up, hold it for about 5 seconds. Come back down. Of course, you would switch to the other side, and I'll go ahead and do that just so you can see the angles here. 45 degrees with the down leg, this knee all the way up. Square up. You want to stay square here. Raise that arm. And down. Nice little stretch for that hip flexor, and also on the front.